Well, hello there, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Path to Abundant Living. Ryan Ruff here, your moderator, but as always, I'm joined by the fellas in Matt Nordman and Scott Morrison of Morrison Nordman. And look, we're getting back to brass tacks today, diving back into the greater concept of wealth management. We've got a dynamite guest for you today, Miss Andree Mohr, the president of Integrated Partners. And we're going to be kind of, as you know, if you're a frequent listener or viewer on the show, you know that we love to bring on just esteemed guests from so many industries and walks of life to dive into their unique background and extract any bit of information and value so that we can put you, our listeners, on that path to abundant living. And today, Andree Mohr is going to dive back into the world of wealth management with us. Feels like it's been a minute since we've been in there. But we're going to be diving into her background, this idea of really comprehensive wealth management, specifically for successful business owners in today's day and age, because it's an ever-changing landscape, and what her and her team at Integrated Partners are doing to continue to move the needle while the needle is ever changing in this world we live in. So before we bring her on and get into the nitty-gritty, let's say hi to the fellas. Matt, Scott, good to see you guys today. How we doing?
Ryan,
Great,
great to
Ryan.
see you. Scott, good to see you as well.
Looking good.
You are looking good. Ryan, you getting some sleep?
A little bit, a little bit. Little guys sleeping almost like 11, 12 hours through the night these days.
What?
I think the tough stuff's behind us. Now we're moving into teething. So next episode, Matt, we might be having a different
Are
conversation.
you the
So
one? Are you teething or is he teething?
I think I have all my teeth now. So I think I'm
Okay.
good. But yeah, no, little guy's got a whole four at the moment. So
Nice.
we'll see him pop through. But guys, look, we've had this one circled on the calendar for a bit. We've Andree Mohr stopping by the podcast with us today. We're excited for the convo. But Matt, why don't you frame things up for our audience? I know Andree and her company have a great relationship with you guys. Why Andree? Why today?
Good question, Ryan. So I met Andree last August when Scott and I were looking at potentially changing our back office situation. Met Andree and was immediately impressed with her and her vision for the company of Integrated Partners. And last December we partnered with Integrated and couldn't be more happy with the situation and their team and how it helps us help our clients, and especially with business owners. And what you see is, depending on the numbers, 11-ish trillion dollars is going to be businesses are going to be sold in the next 5 to 8 years or so, whatever the number is. And you said, okay, how do we help as many of those people as we can, whether we work with them or not, but how can we give them information that will be helpful? And we said, hey, let's get Andree in here, because with what she is doing at Integrated in the vision, it's like we can't have a better guest today.
I love it. And it's a trickle down, right? It's benefit for you and your team locally, but also, of course, to your clientele. And we'll get into how that benefit comes to the table today. But so with that being said, let's go ahead and welcome Andree Mohr to the show. Andree, thanks for carving time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here today.
Great to see you, Andree. Super excited you're here today.
Thank you. You guys all look lovely today. So I put on my jacket for you guys. I knew Matt and Scott would be top tier, so happy to fit in.
All right, fantastic. You elevate us. So thanks for that. So for those that don't know, give us a little background. How did you get into the wealth management industry? Like what got you into it and excites you?
I got into this industry absolutely by accident. So I was 17 years old, my second day of my freshman year of college, and I was going to visit a family friend who actually happens to be our chief compliance officer, Ann Schwartz. I show up at her office, elevator doors open, and the CEO of their company at that time said, "Would you like an internship?" And I said, "No, I'm all set. Thank you." And he's like, "No, come on down." And I met the marketing team. Next day, somehow I'm a marketing intern at an RIA in Boston. And it was really interesting because I wanted to get into PR. I actually didn't know anything about the finance industry. But what I quickly learned about finance is that you can do good and you can do well in this industry. And what I loved so much about it is advisors' commitments to helping their clients live a fulfilling life. And I have, evolved over the years since those days back then. But what I love about this industry is that the right advisors, that commitment is still there. That passion for the business is still there. And the capability to serve and help clients through their entire financial life cycle is a really exciting story and journey. And especially when I first met Matt, his passion for the business and commitment to clients was so in alignment with integrated and how we want to serve clients. And then Scott has some history with the team and some foundational pieces that are so in alignment with us. And so we were very excited to have them join the organization.
So one quick question about that. So you walk in, no intention to get an internship or a job, and you walk out, and so then you go home and say, "Well, guess what happened to me today?" Right?
I called my dad, and I said, I'm starting a job tomorrow. He was like, how is this happening? You're supposed to be focusing on college. And I was like, it'll be totally fine. I'll only do a couple of hours. Cut scene 1 month later, I'm working 30 hours a week at the RAA. I'm going to school and I absolutely loved it. I am somebody who likes to be busy and likes to be in the mix. And so it really completely changed the trajectory of my entire college experience, which was amazing.
Well, and change the potentially the trajectory of your life, right?
Correct. Yes.
So for those who aren't familiar, how would you describe what makes integrated partners intentionally different, right? Because a lot of people see, oh, financial advisors, right? Oh, they're all the same, right? Like what makes integrated intentionally different in the wealth management landscape today?
Our commitment to advisors and helping advisors live a life that is fulfilling. Advisors are leaders to their clients, but it's hard to lead people to places that you have not gone as yourself. And so Integrated is made up of amazing entrepreneurial minded advisors who are themselves business owners and go through the same challenges that business owners go through. And you can then lead them through things because you are the coach that has gone to the places that they are looking to go, or you have those coaches available within the integrated ecosystem. And so our commitment to advisors and our advisors' commitment to their clients and being a part of their entire financial life, not just the one wealth management component, is what I believe makes us so different.
And yeah,
So
speaking
Andree,
firsthand,
you were named.
I'm just going to be in agreement. Again, we've been here not even 6 months yet, and we can tell already it is the elevation for us to help our clients is tenfold. So jump in there, Scott.
All right. I was going to ask, you were named president in 2024, so not too long ago. There must be a whole lot of excitement there about where you want to take integrated. How are you evolving the firm since 2024, and what are you looking forward to the most?
Thank you for that. It's been an amazing journey, and I am honored every single day to be in this role. As many founder-led organizations, we were not a data-driven organization before I became president. And so one of the things that we have shifted significantly is becoming a data-driven organization. And that has been amazing for us and amazing for how we lead our advisors. And the vision of Integrated has always been to be the destination where entrepreneurial minded advisors thrive. And so that vision has not changed as I became president, but how we execute on that vision has changed dramatically. And we're really focused on three key areas. One is helping our advisors to become better advisors for their clients. The nature of being an advisor is going to evolve over the next few years, and we want to make sure that our team is ready for that. The other is technology. I mean, we're doing things today that if you had told me 2 years ago, I would be talking to AI agents to build agentic workflows, I'd say, I don't even know what those words mean. And now that is core to our strategy and our vision of the future. And then it's organic growth. We have always partnered with CPAs because we have this deep belief that coordination of a client's financial life is one of the most important ways to set them up for the highest probability of success. And we want to continue to deepen those relationships and really help to grow our advisors' practices and our CPAs through organic growth and find ways to scale that and systematize that as we head into the future.
You talk about coordination, right? From our experiences, when dealing with families and business owners, it's not they have a lot of, most of them, if they've reached any level of success have an estate planning attorney, have a CPA, and it's not that coordination, it's that lack of coordination is what we see, right? And I know you feel the same. And so that's one of the reasons you have this powerful CPA alliance, which I don't even know the number. It's 200 plus last time I checked. I know. So why do you believe that? Why do you and Integrated believe that's so critical for delivering these better outcomes that we all want for clients?
Because clients are busy. And I want to say that consumer behavior has changed. And in a way, it has changed. People expect things instantaneously. They expect things to be done for them because of the nature of buying behavior and consumerism today. But quite honestly, Paul, our CEO and founder, 30 years ago said, working with business owners, their financial lives are a mess because they're not coordinated. They don't have the time to take the information the CPA told them to their wealth manager, to their estate planning attorney, and ensure that the plan that they put together was properly implemented. And as you mentioned, Matt, we still see that same thing today. Business owners are busy, people are busy, and they expect things to happen without understanding that, your CPA can't do the wealth management implementation of that tax planning idea, or your estate planning attorney can't change the structure of your accounts to ensure that everything flows properly. You need somebody in your life who can do that for you. And that's where we've always believed that intersection of everybody's, financial advisors was a place where we could add significant value to our clients, because we can say, all of these people are saying these things. We're going to make sure that it happens. We're going to make sure you understand it, and we're going to make sure your family understands it. And that is still different in today's world, but I think will be required of advisors of the future.
Oh, we totally agree, right? It's that we live in this microwave society where it's like, well, I want it done now. It's like, well, I talked to you today. Well, it's not done 5 minutes ago, right? That's what we all want. And getting information is helpful, but we all want to know, how does it affect me? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where, like, what we love about Integrated is it's that collaboration of everyone for the benefit of that family and that business owner. And as you know, there is no delineation between, oh, it's my personal financial plan and my business planning and strategy. No, those two are connected, and helping business owners see that is really, really important, and having, the team around people do that. So
yeah, I think about myself, there's an old phrase that, the cobbler's kids have no shoes. And I feel that sometimes when as a business owner, when you're so involved in the day-to-day business of running your business, you don't take care of yourself. And I think that's what makes this really interesting when we think about those siloed conversations that business owners find themselves having with either their CPA and then their attorney and then their advisor, and trying to remember what they're supposed to talk to each other about. And what's so exciting for us with Integrated is just in the name, Integrated Partners, that there's three parties that are going to get together on the client's behalf. Who do you think benefits the most? What business owner, or what is the ideal client that Integrated Partner serves best?
Absolutely business owners, just because we have a deep understanding of who they are as people and how they operate, just like you guys do. And I think the other component to it that a lot of advisors don't talk to their clients about is the emotional side of it, the behavioral finance side of it. And it's something we've always focused on with our clients and talking to them about. So, absolutely business owners, those in growth mode, there's a lot that can be done to help those business owners properly grow their business. When we coach advisors, we say you should run your business as if it's for sale tomorrow because it sets a different mindset on how you operate the business and it creates systems that can then scale. But when you're operating the business, just trying to do the next best thing and the next best thing without a real plan and a structure, things can kind of go sideways. And over the past 2 years, while we have absolutely no intention of selling integrated partners, we've run integrated in that way. And it has significantly reduced what I would call the whirlwind of the day to day. And so, business owners in growth mode, because there's a lot of things that can be done to help them optimize the growth of their business and retain top talent, which is something that's going to be so important in the next few years, I think is an ideal client for us. And then business owners who are preparing to sell, and ideally, 3 to 5 years before they go and sell their business, because the important work happens then. The important work doesn't happen after they sell their business. It happens in the years leading up to it.
Yeah,
You
that's the before, during, sorry, right? It's that before, during, and after, right? When you're
Yeah.
why it is so important to run your business as if you're going to sell in 90 days, right? Because you're going to increase the value because can your business stand up to the due diligence, right? Can, if someone looks under the hood, and so that's the business side. And then the personal side is what's your average Tuesday going to look like? And if you haven't thought about that, well, I'm going to play golf more. I'm going to travel more. Are you doing those things now? No. Well, what's the statistic now? Up to at least 80% regret selling their business after the first year. So
Mhm.
go ahead, Ryan.
Oh no, I was just going to mention just in our last episode, actually, Andre, we had Micah and Elise Brandenburg from Legendary Exits diving into the greater exit planning process, and we hit on that 80% statistic. We hit on the whole idea of leading up to the before, the during, the after, and we see that there's such an unfortunate influx of advisors or deal attorneys that show up kind of when the bell's being rung, if you will. Um, but looking at the business owner in that moment, could you walk us through a little bit of the mindset then of a business owner as they approach the sale? What are they thinking about? I mean, of course, they're thinking about retirement, but there's probably much more they should be considering. But in your eyes and your experiences, what are they thinking about currently, and what should they be thinking about?
Yeah. I think the exciting thing about working with business owners is that everybody is thinking about things a little bit differently. And they have different things that they have to think about, whether they're a closely held business or they're going to sell to a family, right? And we've helped coach some folks through that have 2 kids in the business, 1 kid not in the business. So there's a ton of family dynamics that go into things like that. So it depends on the situation of the person, but what I will say at a high level, there is an emotional component to what's happening. And sometimes those emotions drive decisions that are not always in the best interest of the business owner and their team or their family. And that's where being an advisor is so invaluable because we can be unemotional about their money and allow them to make better decisions that they can see the proper outcome for themselves. So it's highly emotional. It's obviously monetary, right? How can I increase the value of this business? But with that comes, taxes and complexity and all of those things. And so I think people think about, well, maybe I just want to get the best monetary outcome. And there's downstream effects to that. And then the other component is how do I take care of my business? Like, what's my legacy? And so the emotions, the money, and the legacy are really the 3 major topics. And then underneath those, they could go in so many different directions.
I love that you talked about because we talk about this all the time. We have all the logic in the world, right? You give us the numbers and we have all the logic in the world. But then you have this emotion that we have to bring into it because we're all emotional about different things, right? We have two brains. We have our logic brain and our emotional brain, and our emotional brain is significantly larger. And when the emotional brain wants something, it's hard to bring logic in, right? We make decisions emotionally and back it up with logic. So
It's so true. And that's why it's so important for business owners to have advisors, because they'll make an emotional decision that feels small. And then you've got to get on the phone with the CPA, the attorney, all of these other folks, because that very small emotional decision, I want to save this employee, or I want to pay them out this, or whatever the case may be, has all of these other impacts that they can't see in that moment. And that is the beauty of having an advisor that understands you.
it's going up that, right? When the complexity, right? The more money revenue, the higher the taxes, right? We can make those decisions early on. You're like, that's not too big of an impact. Well, the further you move up that complexity curve, boy, those decisions become significant that, like you said, sometimes they see and a lot of times they don't see. They just, that emotional side is, oh, I want to do this, whatever that thing is, and it can harm them dramatically down the road if not walked through.
So Integrated recently launched a dedicated wealth platform for business owners. Can you tell us what gap were you seeing in the market that kind of led to Integrated feeling the need to fill that gap?
There was a gap in helping advisors prepare for a transition, right? So you guys already talked about the statistic of how many business owners regret a transition. And people were excited about business owners post sale, right? They have wealth, there's a lot you can do with that, and to help them optimize their life post sale. But it's hard to optimize your life post sale when you haven't prepared for that. And so we realized that there was a gap in helping business owners prepare for a sale, especially when it came to the integration of tax planning and wealth management. And we wanted to solve that, right? We are made up of a number of business owners. And what we want for our advisors when they ultimately sell their businesses is for them to walk away and say, hey, I feel great about this. And we've helped, north of 30 advisors sell their businesses over the last 5 or 6 years. And at the beginning, we saw some of that. We saw them walk away and feel either not as joyful as they could have felt. And so, I always use the word joy because that's important to me, but we wanted business owners to feel joyful about what happened in their legacy. I mean, I always joke Integrated is my third baby. Like when you are a business owner, your business becomes a part of your family. And we wanted people to feel really good about the outcome that they could achieve for themselves, their family, and their team members. And we just saw so many people who were unhappy about that.
It's a shame, right? Because they spend potentially decades building this, and what should be this celebratory moment, right, becomes this regretful time in their life. So,
right, where they feel lost. And to your point, like we hated that for them. And Scott, going back to your cobbler's kids have no shoes commentary, like that, we saw that happening so often with business owners. And we said, hey, we have a unique expertise, right? We've been doing business owner transaction planning for 30 years. We partner with CPAs. So we have this unique lens into how can we help them get ready? Like, why don't we just focus on that and let people know that we can help you do this so you can have an outcome that is fulfilling to you?
so sidebar, in case you didn't know, Ryan and Andree are both younger than Scott and myself, and cobblers are people who used to make shoes.
I appreciate the background. Thank you.
So
Seems like every episode I provide something that allows us to give some historical perspective.
It's just the wise sage that is Scott Morrison.
very
That's
much
all. That's all.
appreciated. Very
Yeah, I was
right.
gonna say you're just dropping knowledge, Scott. That's great.
Exactly. Andree, you mentioned this the buzzword that always comes up here is coordination among a team that's working together for the benefit of the business owner. The layup of the question, if you will, is why can't it be done in silos? Like why can't a business owner go to their wealth manager and then go down the street to this person and that person to get a why can't it be done in silos? I think we all know that answer. But more importantly, what does that word coordination really look like from the eyes of the business owner? Like, walk us through that experience, if you will, and what the goal is that Integrate is ultimately trying to bring to the table for that sense of coordination for the business owner.
Yeah. I mean, everything can be done with a very specific person, but most business owners, and I would say even, myself included as leading Integrated, I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of the CPA space, our attorney space, all of that jazz, but it's the classic game of telephone when you're a kid. I say something to you, Ryan, that you then say to Matt, and then Matt relays it to Scott. And by the time what I said to you gets to Scott, it is not the same thing. And no, so then Scott's making decisions for me based on misinformation. And as a business owner, those little misinformations can have significant impact. So we realized that we were advising people to do X. And then when it got to their attorney or their CPA, the outcome was Y. And the difference between X and Y, again, could be significant. And so we said, hey, let us just take this on for you. Let us go reach out to these folks and bring that communication and collaboration together. So that would be the biggest, that's why coordination is so important, because we've all played telephone and we all know the outcome of that. And we just love that we can bring that coordination to people. I forgot the second part of your question because I got so into the game of telephone.
No, it's great. I guess I was most curious about what does that feel like and look like from the business owner's perspective? Because I mean, sure, it sounds nice. Can I just go talk to my one-stop shop in my integrated partners and carry that relationship forward? Like, walk me through what that experience looks like.
It feels like safety. It feels like knowing you are cared for. And I think, in a business world, again, tying things back to emotions and behaviors, we don't always talk about the emotional side of what we give to our clients, but people like to be taken care of. And like, I know if I went to Matt and asked him to do something for me, that I would be taken care of. And then I don't have to think about that anymore. The outcome I want to achieve will end up happening. Or if it can't, Matt's going to come back to me. But for busy business owners that have so much on their plate and so much, mental capacity taken up by their business, the gift that, Scott and Matt give them is the fact that they can hand this thing off to them and not have to worry about it again.
We all want to know, we have the confidence that we're making smart decisions, right? So that if we come to you, like exactly what you said, Andree, we come to you, here's the question. I know that I can not have to think about that until you come back to me with an answer or say, I'm working on it, or I'm going to bring somebody else in to get the solution for this. That's our experience of what people are looking for.
100%.
What I was going to say too is one of the things that that really spoke to us when we started the relationship with Integrated is that we were already, and this is the oldest guy in the room saying this, but everybody just keep that in mind, that virtual family office concept that we got really excited about because we knew that the business owner that's out there with $500 million, of net worth has already hired on staff the attorney and the CPA and everybody they need. They work for them. But there's a lot of successful business owners that are in that 5, 10 million, 15, $20 million range that don't necessarily have, they've been very successful, but they don't have the resources to have a family office, the traditional family office. And so the idea of that virtual family office where now the technology can actually allow us to all get together on behalf of a client, all the professionals necessary, is exciting for the future.
It is, and it was so important to us that we could create this expert team of experts, and have, our advisors be the coordinators of that, but also to bring the concepts from the $500 million business owner down to the $10 million business owner. And to your point, Scott, they either don't have access to that or know how to find that, but we can bring that to them. And that's really exciting because our belief is they deserve that.
So if a business owner listening, or they're like, hey, they know someone's listening, they know a business owner, they're facing that liquidity event, right? And really we all are. Every business owner is facing a liquidity event at some time. Is it going to be a purposeful, or we know statistically a lot of times it's not on purpose, like things happen, death, divorce, partnership disagreements. But so let's say it's going really well. What should that business owner be looking for in that trusted advisor?
Yeah, it's a great way to describe that, Matt, because we use the word transition versus exit or monetization event because there are so many variations of what needs to be prepared for. And so when a business owner is looking for a trusted advisor, I would say it's somebody who has an understanding of business owners, right? And so I think we are uniquely positioned in that because we're all business owners. The second is the access to the right types of resources. Because as our world evolves, one individual person cannot be a subject matter expert on everything that business owner needs in order to achieve the ideal outcome. So ensuring that they have a deep bench of resources to help serve you. And then my last thing is always, it's easy, in my personal opinion, to know if somebody cares about you pretty quickly within a conversation. And so you want to look for somebody that cares because this is your legacy. This is what you have built. And ensuring that you find an advisor that is committed to you and your ideal outcome is really important.
So with all that we've talked about, Integrated's moving forward 5, 10, 20 years from now, what do you want people to know that Integrated is known for, whether that's today or well into the future?
Integrated is known to be the destination where entrepreneurial-minded advisors thrive. That would be our main vision. Our commitment has always been to entrepreneurial-minded advisors, and it will continue to be that. But I think underneath that is two subsets that are deeply personal to us. And so one is the place to go to ensure that you have a regret-free transition as a business owner. And then the other is to help CPAs monetize their most trusted advisor status. So you said one, but I'm giving you three.
Yeah, no, that's
how I
good.
roll.
I like it. I like it. What's that thing that politicians do? Don't answer the question you're asked. Answer the question you wish you were asked.
Yes. That's also called good media training.
Yeah. So as we're wrapping up, I believe I know the answer to this question. There's just a few more questions. What's the one word that best describes that successful business transition?
Fulfillment. There is a difference between accomplishing a goal or doing something that feels fulfilling to you. And we were really lucky. We had Tony Robbins speak at our conference last year, and he talked about that. And I think it was an aha moment for a lot of us in the room because you would think, oh my gosh, Tony Robbins is so accomplished. He must be so fulfilled and happy. And he talked about how he accomplished goals. I sold this for a monetary number, but I didn't feel fulfilled. And so for us, that changed how we thought about, supporting business owners. And we said we want people to walk away from a transaction feeling fulfilled.
What's the biggest blind spot that you see business owners have right now?
Time. They think that they have the time to do the work that is required to have an ideal outcome. And as you guys know, even little things, entity structure. Entity structure is so important when you go and prepare for a transaction, and that takes time. And so business owners say, well, I don't want to sell for 3 years or 5 years or who knows. And so they push off the preparing, and that is a problem.
Yeah, so then and we reverse engineer it and you say, okay, in an ideal world, in a perfect world, which we know it's not, you're saying this is the time, the year, the age, the whatever, and let's reverse engineer that. And then you say, do you realize you don't have that much time? Like you say you have this much time, but that's going to go really, really quick. Right?
Correct.
Andree, we dive into a lot of great entrepreneurial business related books, anecdotes, material like that on the show. Do you have a book every entrepreneur should read?
The Trillion Dollar Coach. Yeah, it's a great book that reminds you that at the end of the day, all of our businesses are built by people and relationships. And people are always the problem, people are always the solution. And taking care of people is such an important component of your business. And, I always say the best thing about integrated is our people. And I spend the vast majority of my time making sure that our people are okay and trying to give back and pour into our people. So I think it's a great book. He has a really cool story, so I highly recommend that book.
Okay.
And
Last
I guess
question.
I will try to wrap this up with the last question with what gives you confidence about the future of this industry?
The people. Yeah, the commitment of advisors, the understanding of how we can serve clients. I mean, I get the unique opportunity of hearing stories of folks who didn't think they could retire and now they can retire and they're going on that big trip that they always dreamed about, or business owners who are joyful about the outcome of their transition. And people caring about other people is what gives me the biggest hope for this industry.
Thank you, Andree, for being here. Greatly appreciated. Love your insight and optimism about the future of the industry because we agree it is people. We are meant to be in community, right? And to be able to help people achieve all those things and have that joy and fulfillment is top of list for us.
You guys live it every single day, so it's great to see that.
And Andree, one final quick question, I guess, as an add-on, if you will. For anybody out there that, we scratched an itch today and they're interested in learning a little more about integrated, the work you guys are doing, and the kind of connection between advisors like Matt and Scott and your group, what's the best way somebody could look you guys up, find you, learn more, so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, here's what I would say. If you are a business owner listening to this podcast today and something we said resonated with you, you should absolutely reach out to Matt and Scott because you are running out of time. But if you want to learn more about integrated, you can go to integrated-partners.com and contact us there.
Amazing. Well, again, Andree, we so appreciate your time. We know it's valuable, and we wish you great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. This was fun. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Alrighty, folks, there you have it. Andree Mohr, president of Integrated Partners, stopping by the podcast today. Just such a delight. Love her vision for the future of the industry and wealth management as a whole. Let's do our roundup, guys. Key takeaways. Matt, you want to lead off?
It was really interesting to hear Andree talk about Tony Robbins, which by all accounts from the outside, we would say, wow, what a successful person, right? Successful business owner, everything. And saying, yeah, there was no fulfillment, and really talking about fulfillment. And we do that a lot with clients, maybe not using that word, but talking about, okay, what does that transition look like? What is most important to you, right? And not solely identifying as a business owner or what are you known for, right? Do you want to be known as the business owner, or is there something deeper relating to your family or charity or, community at large? And so helping people see that.
Yeah, that word fulfillment she used really hit home. That was quick. She was good with how quick she got to that word. When we asked for one word to describe the successful business exit, if you will. But no, I totally agree. I think it's a really interesting situation and time for the greater wealth management industry, and um, finding that sense of fulfillment for a business owner is key. But I got my own 2 cents. But Scott, what about you?
Well, I think that what I came away from most excited about was obviously, the podcast. We're trying to reach out to obviously new and potential clients, but for me, thinking about the transition that we've actually recently made to integrated, this is going to be invaluable for our current clients to understand why. Why are we doing what we're doing? What is it about our own business that we, you know, we see the entrepreneurial challenges within our own business in terms of succession planning, like any other business owner does. And so this is going to give, I think, our current clients a little bit of a peek behind the curtain as to, why we partnered with somebody as exciting as Integrated Partners.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point. I mean, if anything, it's a testament to you guys and the team for wanting to level up so that your clients can level up, and bringing together that team of professionals. Because from the client perspective, not a whole lot changes. They still get their wonderful relationship that they've had for many years with Matt and Scott. They know they can pick up the phone and call you to address whatever the concern is and put them on that path to success. But now they know you guys have this wonderful team of experts that you can bring to the table via integrated partners to solve whatever the complex need is. It's a huge win. I agree. It's a nice little peek behind the curtain, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if some current clients are calling you guys saying, "So what does this mean for me? This is exciting." It is.
Right.
It's really great stuff, guys.
Never,
So.
I've said, I've having done this 30 years now, never been more excited to be in this industry and fight for families every day to help them achieve all the things that they tell us that they want to do. And again, we say it all the time, but for most people, it's those three things: take care of their loved ones, the causes they care about, make a difference in the world.
I love it. Guys, there's always the chance, and it does happen, where folks stumble onto our podcast that aren't regularly up to speed with Morrison Nordman or the greater scheme of wealth management and all that's ever changing, especially with respect to this virtual family office model that we talked at length about today. For anybody out there that would like to bend your ear and talk about their unique situation and how your work with integrated partners can help them leverage some capacity of their life or their business, what is the best way somebody could reach out to your team?
Yep. Go to our website, Morrison Nordman, two N's on the end of Nordman.com. Click on the book a call. Take 15-ish minutes, get to know you. And the only decision that we'll make at the end of that call is if we should have another call. Or pick up the phone, right? 517-333-7967.
Awesome. Well, fellas, look, I appreciate your time. This was always a good time. Bringing on great guests. Andree Mohr, just really great stuff. Wouldn't surprise me if we have her back on the podcast in due time to almost check in as where do we see the industry moving now? Because I know her and her team are always at the front and kind of the cutting edge of all this stuff. So really appreciate you and your time, and we'll see you back here on the next one, fellas.
Thanks, Ryan. Have a great day.
Thanks.
See you soon, Scott.
All right.
All righty, fellas. Look, folks, for a final thank you and goodbye, we very much appreciate everybody that stops by and subscribes to the show, listens to us, tunes in, maybe on their commute even. Look, your listenership, your viewership is very much appreciated. We want to continue bringing some great guests to you guys and put you on that path to abundant living. So a big thank you to our current audience, and for new folks that stopped in today, make sure you hit that subscribe button on whichever platform you checked us out on so that you don't miss out on other great conversations like this that are coming down the pipeline. But look, for Matt and Scott, I'm Ryan. We're going to go ahead and say so long now, but we appreciate each and every one of you stopping by and being with us today on Path to Abundant Living.